Welcome to the Create with Katrina Julia show by Fit Life Creation, where we talk all the things on wellness, faith, marketing, business, and travel to create a life and business you love. I've been there, friend. I've walked from fear to faith, self-hate to love, corporate to calling, and bondage to freedom, along with transformation in every area of my life. I'm right here with you, walking along on my own path to creating. So tune in so that you learn how to create a life and business you love, hands-on. Let's create it. Welcome to my episode for 2022 of What Now, What Next. So yesterday, as I was walking, running errands, and reflecting on the year, reflecting on what I want to finish before the year wraps up with clearing, with growth, with scaling, with finishing up projects, with setting the stage for next projects, for travels, for vision workshops, for all the things, I thought about in between my last episode on the 2022 recap and celebrates, and before sharing my 2023 vision, it would be helpful to you, my amazing listeners, to share what now and what next. But first, I wanted to share because I got another amazing surprise, and I'm definitely going to be sharing this on my podcast. On my Instagram and other channels that Spotify and Anchor did a beautiful wrap up, and I just wanted to first say thank you. Thank you to growth of over 1,000% in followers, which I had no idea. We are now in over 34 countries with the show. So Create with Katrina Julia has officially, really officially gone global. And what's really funny, you guys, is that I this year reached over 36 countries of travel. No, I didn't do all those countries in the same year. So it's super interesting to see that my podcast is almost caught up with all my global travels around the world. We released over 77 episodes that you all tuned into, and over 100 of you said that my podcast is your favorite podcast. So thank you. Over 200 of you said that I am in your top 5. So thank you. Please, please, please share on social, you guys. Write reviews. I will shout you out because we've got over 30 plus 5-star ratings. But now that I know there's so many more of you, I want to encourage you even more to leave reviews on the show and not be such a silent observer, because the people that are watching you care what you're listening to too. And whether it's tagging me on social at Katrina Julia Fit, whether it's leaving a review, whatever it is, I would love to spotlight you too. And then over 250 of you additionally said I'm in your top 10. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Some more celebrates. Our podcast made it to the top 100 for over 6 days in 2022. Whoop, whoop. The typical podcaster that listens to my show, according to Spotify, is the adventurer, meaning your listeners venture out into the unknown, searching for fresh podcasts and gems yet to be found. My number one episode for the year, which didn't surprise me, I guessed this completely, was how to batch content for social media and launches like a boss. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Wanted to share that first. So what now, what next? So there is a lot happening that I am percolating into my vision for 2023. You will get a more formal episode on one of the ones coming up into the new year, but just to give you kind of the raw thoughts and what's percolating is continuing to grow in spiritually. I absolutely did this in 2022. And my phrase for 2022, if you didn't know, was I am perfectly present. I continued to read almost daily in Proverbs to continue to grow in wisdom and financially aligned. I completed several Bible studies and different books that you can definitely tune into that episode on the show. I am right now in the Jude Bible study, which I will be finishing into January. My goal is to read straight through the Bible again in 2023 and also continue to serve and be involved in Transformation Church. I've recently also connected with Live Atlanta, LIIV, and it is love. Ooh, I'm being tested now. Love, integrity. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up on Insta right now. Love, integrity. I'm blanking on the second I. Influence and victory. Okay. Which I don't know why I was blanking on that. That's an easy one. I talk about it a lot. Hello. Love, integrity, influence, and victory. And I am planning on going to their service on New Year's Day, which is followed by a brunch from Cracker Barrel. Anyone that knows me knows I love breakfast all day long. You guys, seriously, I discovered, I love my Herbalife, but I also discovered protein hot chocolate on Amazon. So, your girl is serious about breakfast food, and I love hot chocolate, and I figured out a way to make it healthy. So spiritual, that's some highlights there. Mental and emotional is also connected with relational dramatically. So mental, and I am also setting a goal to read between 26 to 52 books, not just completely, but also through a tool that I discovered through Vanessa Lau named Blinkist, which basically summarizes books in less than 20 minutes. Because don't get me wrong, I love to read, and some books I love to read in their entirety, but some books we all know can be summarized in less than half an hour, and our time is precious. So that is another way to accelerate learning and growth is through Blinkist. And if you go to my 75 plus tools to create and scale a life and business you love, I also have Blinkist and numerous other tools. Now, just as of this recording, full disclaimer, I'm still in the process of updating before the end of the year. So if you go right now and it's not there, please don't yell at me. Be a little bit patient because I just signed up yesterday, literally, with the affiliate link and whatnot. So mental. Emotional also goes into also my sleep. And I recently got like a waterfall type sleep alarm that I can also listen to different sounds and different colors to help me go to sleep sooner, and implemented magnesium daily to help me fall asleep sooner. Because this year, especially after I moved back to Atlanta, I don't know if it was just me focusing and being more stable in one place. Some depression and anxiety that I previously dealt with for the first time ever in about 2020, 2019 revisited and surfaced, which also told me there was, different things that I believe God wanted to heal and is healing. And I'm definitely seeing and experiencing that. Side note, if you want more on the prayer front, you definitely want to check out my episodes and blogs on becoming a warrior woman of faith and prayer for you and our world, and my Bible study guides as well. So that's at a glance, spiritual, mental, emotional. Along the lines of emotional, I also recognize, yes, I love to travel. Yes, I love adventure, but I also do love having a space to call my own that I can always return to, that is surrounded by everything that I love. So, resetting up a space in Atlanta, printing out photos, photo albums, photo tiles, decorating my place has also been a joy and a treasure. My place is at about, I would say, 90%. There's a couple more photos, images, and a couple more pieces that I want to get. So we are almost there. Realizing that vision was great. Going on a Virgin Voyages cruise was also amazing. I'm hoping to do more with them and submitted several things with them yesterday and have a ton of content on my blog, my show. My YouTube channel has over 20 plus videos. and several other things I shared recently on YouTube, Instagram, and the blog and show as well. And more will be coming up. So spiritual, mental, emotional, relational. So also speaking of having a home base, yes, I love connecting with you guys, on social channels. They're amazing. But the thing is with social channels and whatnot, yes, people can somewhat talk back, but not fully. We're not in the room engaging together face to face. And yes, I'm so grateful for these free platforms and the ability to share and connect and create and whatnot. But I also realize like pivotal, I believe, well, instrumental and pivotal to mental, emotional, and relational health and well being and wholeness is connecting with people in real life. So, I don't know if you guys have heard the term ambivert. I first discovered it when I read this incredible book, probably circa 2017, called The Power of Quiet. And basically, what it means, and it gave me so much insight into myself. So, basically, people often, so kind of give you some background, people often confuse me for an extrovert. They think I'm extroverted because when I'm super excited. I can be super goofy, especially when I'm around like minded people and just lit up. But really, my natural tendencies are much more introverted. I love my own company. I love to create, in the quiet. I love to daydream. I love to set the vision, cast the vision, walk it out, take the leaps of faith, the daily discipline, all of that. But I do love being around people. And the book basically showcased that ambiverts are those that have introverted tendencies but appear to be extroverted when they're around people. Like when I'm giving presentations, when I'm speaking to tons of people, whether it's 10 people, whether it's 100, whether it's 10,000, like I've done in the past, I appear to be extroverted. But also after that, I want my own quiet time. And depending on how long I was around people, like there's been times where I've done, all day seminars, all day events for 1, 2, 3 days in a row, or all day trainings that I've been the one presenting, or I've been the one presenting and hosting. I definitely then want 1, 2, 3 days on my own. Or like when I've ran, when I run my retreats for a week straight. Like previously, I've done Cuba, Costa Rica. If you're curious, I have Nicaragua coming up. You can definitely check that out at fitlifecreation.com/retreats. We're also on Book Retreats and Retreat Guru. That's part of the vision for 2023, Avi. um, I uh, I bake in time in advance before to really get grounded and settled and stable and intentional. And I also set up time after, because during my retreats, I'm also growing and learning from everyone. And then I want time to divinely download and not, simply rush off into the next thing, which is what I used to do years ago and found myself depleted, resentful. And that's also when I was 55 plus pounds heavier. So, side note, if you are looking to grow, radically and transformationally in 2023 and beyond, definitely check out my bit.ly/create it like a boss for the 75 tools and my ongoing challenges and memberships with tools like Subkit, on Kajabi, and more. So, along those lines, to connect and create in person, besides the retreats, in person, besides online, you'll find things that I'm doing live in Atlanta. And then also being here, I've connected a lot more in person with people. I recently joined ATL Girl Gang and have met some incredible women like Olivia, like Elizabeth, in person, but also numerous other people online so far, like Maddie, the community leader, and lots more on like their sessions they hosted on Go Getter, which was great to connect with like-minded women, even though that one was on Zoom. Then I also got more involved in the Buckhead Business Association, among other organizations in Atlanta, and I submitted to be their vice president of marketing for 2023 and got accepted. So I am excited to create and connect more in the Buckhead community and with the sponsors, with the community that attend the events, with future community and sponsors, and much, much more. So you'll see and hear more about that coming from me as well. So that gives you, and so you guys know the framework that I use. I use 7 steps to success, and that crosses into spiritual, mental, emotional, relational, playful, physical, and financial. And that is also in my 90-day plans on the blog and show and in my programs too. Speaking of physical, I am on the verge, you guys. I'm so proud of myself and so grateful, even with travel this year to 9 countries. Yes, 9 countries that I ended up more so heavily the first half of the year, but also several countries with Virgin Voyages in October as well. So even with travel to 9 countries, stopping travel full time and moving back to Atlanta as my base, I am on the verge of reaching 20,000 points on the Peloton app this year. And that does not include all my workouts, because all my workouts that I did, whether it was internationally, whether it was here in Atlanta, did not get tracked on Peloton. So I'm super proud of myself for staying healthy, for making health a priority in every single direction. I did not do a fitness show this year. I did not do a dance show this year. That is part of my vision for 2023, that I am going to do dance both online. I actually am attending a a vision board session on Zoom with Turn Up Tracy that I found on Instagram. I love her vibe. So I will likely be doing stuff with her virtually. But then I am also eyeballing doing a show live, like possibly a ballroom dancing. There is a ballroom experiences right down the street from me, close to Phipps Plaza in Buckhead, and or Dance 101 that does showcases 2 to 3 times a year, I believe, that I've been eyeballing for the last couple years. And then also I am eyeballing doing a fitness show again, possibly with Team Edge and or teaming up with Michelle, who's part of Team Edge, as my coach. And then I did just submit, which I shared in the last episode, and I'll share again, to be Swimsuit Rookie of the Year for 2023. They are still accepting applications. I just posted about it on my Instagram, and depending on when you listen to this, just you can scroll to that reel, and the cover of it, just to make it easier for you to find, is Create, Transform, and Inspire. And it's next to a reel that I am working out my bathing suit in the gym at Virgin Voyages, where I shared my Peloton recap, just to help direct you a lot easier. So that gives you into spiritual, mental, emotional, relational, and physical to a degree. Oh, this year also, speaking of the 9 countries, so let's get into playful, some insights into what now, what happened, what next. So that way you can see, like, get a sneak peek of my brain and how I'm transitioning into brain dumping, reflecting in gratitude, but also outlining very clearly the vision, my vision board and whatnot for 2023 as the 9 countries. So I kickstarted the year in Atlanta. I served at Passion City Conference for 2022. And then I left and went to Mexico City. I also was involved in the crew this year. I got selected as part of Project Entrepreneur to be part of their program for the year. So I kickstarted that in Mexico City, explored. I have those top 10 guides on my blog and on my show. Then I went to Colombia. And I was in Bogota, Medellin, and Cartagena. I have guides all about that. I loved them all for different reasons, but I really I mean, I enjoyed them, I should say, but I really loved Cartagena, Colombia. It was like Bogota was like, yeah, it was great. There was some things I liked, and some souvenirs and usaquén, and some experiences and ajiaco soup, and some, super cool things that I did experience. But like, if you asked me if I had to go there, no. It was just an easier flight. And then from there, I went to Medellin, which was even better. Then Cartagena was like, wow, which I kind of knew it, because when I first learned about it years ago, when I worked at an oil and gas company from someone that went, I knew just from seeing the pictures, like I was like, oh my God, I know I'm going to love it. And I did. So after Colombia, I got hosted and sponsored for a press trip in Panama, close to Bocas del Toro, on a private island in Loma Partida. And that was both incredible and insightful. So yes, beautiful private island. Yes, incredible, stays. Yes, incredible animals, views, beaches, all of that. And to a degree, like-minded, community and people, but also a lot of transition and a lot of things that were happening that they did not share with me up front, and some conflicts and disunity to the point where, for my own peace, sanity, and boundaries and self-love, I left a week early, amicably, meaning nicely, putting my foot down, but also never would have imagined I would leave a private island a week early, but there you have it. But still super grateful. Then I got hosted for the travel WITS, the Travel Fest in New Orleans with Wonderful, which you've heard me talk about with communities, and they're on my 75 plus tools. Then I hadn't seen my parents, you guys, at that point for over 2 years. At some point, they were going to come to Central America or South America. Health, different reasons, different perceptions or perspectives than I had with the pandemic, they ended up not coming. So I decided to create and initiate a mutual experience to Portugal. So I ended up spending a month in Portugal. It was incredible. They met me for about a week and we had an incredible adventure. You can find that out on my top 10 on the blog and the show. So at this point, you have Mexico, you have Colombia, you have Panama, you have US, you have Portugal. Then I went with them to Bulgaria. So that's number 6. Then stayed there. We connected with my brother, sister-in-law, niece, and nephew, had an incredible time. Then decided to fly back to the US from Turkey. So ended up going to Turkey and spending time there. Then came back to the US and then ended up going on the Virgin Voyages cruise, and then Mexico and Bahamas. And I'm missing something because I did Mexico twice. I'm missing a country somewhere. It's on my blog post. So hashtag forgive me, hashtag first world problems, hashtag excuse my human, because I recounted it and it was 9 new countries. Bahamas, Mexico, it'll come back to me. What am I missing? I'm missing something. Oh, it's bothering me. Mexico, Colombia, Panama, US, Portugal, Turkey. Oh, Bulgaria, Turkey, Bahamas. There's something else. I'm missing something. Anyway, I'll probably share on it next one. So speaking of travel and family and things next year, my goal is to reach a minimum of basically an average of a country a month. So 12 at least. I'm hoping somewhere between 12 to 24, but then I'm starting to really like longer stays, like a week, a month, like a lot of what I experienced from 2020 to 2022. Speaking of playful, I am also envisioning doing yoga with llamas in Atlanta at the treehouse, staying at the famous treehouse on Airbnb here in Atlanta just to have an experience to get away. Also, some of the countries that I am hoping for and envisioning for 2023 include Ecuador, Peru, Brazil, to name a few, Bahamas again, to name a few. And also on what now, what next, besides the vision and walking into the vision, what my phrase is for 2023. And you are going to hear me talk about it a lot. And divine downloads came to me actually in the middle of this year is I am divinely disciplined, and raising up that standard of discipline and really aligning the habits, which leads me to, and on relational, I'm also envisioning being and becoming best friends, purpose and passion partners with my future love along those lines, deeper and more intimate friendships and relationships. So yes, I'm still friends with a lot of people that I have from my past, but those friendships and relationships have transitioned for different reasons, different life phases. And so intentionally, I am seeking community and, my people and whatnot. So that's why I'm so excited also about the wrap up with the podcast. And then last but definitely not least is the financial area of life. So this year, you have heard me talk a lot about finances. And last year, and if you didn't know, I'm also a CPA. I also have, a number of financial certifications. And in my prior episodes that you might really love to go back to, like my money series on making and managing money like a boss, recently how to find 500,000 plus in opportunities daily, lessons learned from losing millions of dollars in proposals, my six pack of wealth, and many more. I also share where, yes, I consistently have helped brands make 6 to 8 figures year over year, but a lot of instability has resulted in my own finances for years, as a result of, where I found my worth, judging myself on performance, lack thinking, poverty thinking, judgment, fear, shame, and guilt, so many different things. And, in this year, I really worked to get to a place of increased stability, and income has increased 1100 plus percent. I am on the verge, so I definitely see practical results. I am on the verge of increasing my cash flow with existing income from about $900 to $1,500 in the next month to 4 months. So paying off, several different things, and stopping self-sabotaging habits like overspending and thinking, twice, three times, four times, five times, and recognizing where a lot of that came from FOMO, fear of missing out, or people pleasing, or quote unquote trying to keep up with the Joneses. Who the hell are the Joneses anyway? Like, seriously. Um, and along those lines, some of what I just shared, you can see where I have radically increased aligned action, both practically and monetarily, and also, you guys, a lot in both self accountability and in accountability. So, what do I mean by that? I coordinated Financial Peace University for the third time this year. I am re listening myself right now and on the verge of finishing it for the third time this year. I have in the works a project right now where I will be paid. All the content's already submitted. I will be paid $5,000 if they accept all the videos and all the content in January and or early February. That project is already done, and I'm hoping it leads to more ongoing work as well. Influencer management was launched this year, and a lot of growth there. And I'm hoping even more growth there, both on the ongoing ways that I coach influencers to get to stable cash flow, as well as on the agency side, both with influencers and with brands. And there's a lot of proposals and things in the works there. This week, speaking of, before Christmas, I submitted to be an ongoing community lead for a 7-month contract for Lululemon. And I'm hoping that aligns and manifests because it looks and feels perfect, and then leads to ongoing work. And also with LumiQ, which is an incredible, innovative CPE, continuing professional education platform, where I'm finishing up my CPEs. I am finishing up 120 hours within January. I'm already done with over 20 hours from the last week, actually almost into 30 this week. And their director of marketing, and then also an Airbnb analyst. And those are all, the last two are remote. And obviously, you can see where I've radically adjusted time management, and I've scaled within the last 2 to 3 years. We've automated over 75% of the business with Fit Life Creation and scaled over 100 tasks. And I'm getting ready to scale even more to free up my time, both on the proposal side and on repurposing content side as well. And really, really focusing on financial freedom, both financial flow to where I'm overflowing with love, abundance, money, and freedom. I'm overflowing with love, abundance, community, money, and freedom. That's one of the focus, basically speaking in alignment with Proverbs 18:21, that the power of life and death is in the tongue. Those who love it will bear fruit. That I have, felt it was divinely downloaded to me this year. In addition, with accountability, I've also started, I've re-listened to Rich as Fuck, Rich as F, *CK by Amanda Francis this year 4 times, completed her journal twice. I'm listening to Budgetnista for the second time to get good with money. She's more on the practical side. So I've, liked combining the mindset from Amanda and her on the practical side now. I've enrolled in a free course with Clever Finance that you can enroll with as well. And then I met with Olivia that she is a financial advisor here in Atlanta through Northwestern Mutual. So you can see where I've taken a lot of practical action to focus, and a lot of the continuing education with CPEs that I'm taking are aligned to that as well. So what now, what next? A lot more of what you're going to see into next year is creator to CEO, both online and CMO type courses. A lot more fun content that's repurposed across social platforms, Skillshare, my own courses, as well as YouTube. I'm really focusing on blowing up my YouTube channel. We're almost at monetization. So there you have it. So what now, what next for you? Share and tag me on social at Katrina Julia Fit, at Fit Life Creation. Leave a review on the show. I would love to shout you out. And as always, friends, remember, create, transform, and inspire. You are born to. Hey, you guys, I absolutely love Anchor. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Not to mention, it is free. I've used Anchor for over a year now. I've been podcasting for over 3 years, produced over 400 shows, and I can definitely say I cannot see myself going anywhere else. Anchor distributes your show for you so that it can be heard on Spotify, on Apple, on Stitcher, and more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listeners. So that is also something that is totally different and that I did not experience before. There's tools that are built in that literally make it like podcasting for dummies. You can, not that you're a dummy, you're not a dummy, I'm not a dummy, none of us are dummies, but I just think of those books like Such and Such Thing Right for Dummies. You can record, edit your show right from your phone, right from your computer. And you can even add any song from Spotify directly into your episodes. It's truly limitless possibilities for what you may create, whether it's music, your own show, or something the world's never, ever heard of before. And not to mention, you guys, definitely go and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And keep in mind that when podcasting or starting your show, some things that I've learned to create your own show is that you definitely want to be yourself and share things that you're passionate about. Like I share about faith, wellness, business, and travel, and it's 100% me. So what are you waiting for? Go create your own show with Anchor now. Chats on faith, wellness, money, marketing, business, and travel so you create a life and business already. Head on over to the blog, the podcast, and the freebies to jumpstart your transformation. If you're ready to dive into the online courses, the live events, or the retreat, and if you want to create with our community on an even deeper level, definitely check out our internships, our influencer collaborations, management, and brand engagements. Let's create it.